Hi, this is Shastine and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want you to be aware of some significant changes that shifted some things for the better here in Washington that both current residents and those moving into the area should know about. And I feel that this is a huge benefit to living in Washington and a big win for current homeowners. So let's get right to it, shall we? Washington State passed several significant housing and land use bills that are now causing some observers to see Washington as the place of opportunity for housing and affordability along with growth. And the bills that were passed last year are now in full swing. And those two bills that brought the most benefit to our state are, of course, the Middle Housing Bill and what they call the ADU bill. Both are intended to expand the state's housing supply and help address the ongoing affordable housing crisis. What exactly are they and how are they going to benefit you? Well, let's just talk about that, shall we? The first one being the bill known as Middle Housing. And the Middle Housing Bill, also called Missing Middle Housing, refers to those housing types between single-family residences and mid-rise developments. And the middle housing types are homes like duplexes, up to sixplexes, townhouses, stacked flats, courtyard apartments, and cottage housing. In fact, we've been seeing a lot of cottage housing lately. But this will allow for increased types of housing to be put into areas traditionally dedicated to single-family detached housing. Now, some homeowners will like this while some may not, but regardless, it is very needed because not everybody can continue to move further north or way to the east side or way to the west side and still have the conveniences that they need for commuting or for schools and different things like that. So some will like it and some will not. But let's talk a little bit about what this looks like. So what is this Middle Housing Bill or the Missing Middle Housing Bill going to do? First and foremost, it's going to have a huge impact on current homeowners that live in single-family communities, because what's going to happen is that you could have your neighbors sell their home, somebody new could come and purchase that home, and they could tear it down and build a duplex all the way up to a sixplex or a courtyard apartment in that area, and all of a sudden that community is not going to have the same feel when you're driving through it. It's going to change it tremendously. Not only that, but you're now going to have this towering unit next to you where before it was a single family residence. So you can see how this will actually be a huge disadvantage to some, which will actually cause them to actually need to make a move. Now, let's look at it on the other side. What if you have a property and you have the space on your property to add a duplex or maybe even a sixplex? This bill will now allow you to do that, and that's going to be so important for those people who are really struggling on what they're going to do for retirement, to where if they have something like this, it can actually produce an income for them, or those who just want to leave something as a legacy, or more importantly, those who have aging family members, grandparents, parents alike, and that are needing special care and attention, and they need them close by. This is going to allow for them to be able to do that without having to move and to find a bigger acreage property that would allow more space or get into a different kind of home that would allow this type of opportunity for them. So this bill is a huge benefit for those who need these type of things set up for them. And more importantly, it does help our crunch as far as people needing to have housing here within closer proximity to the Columbia River. Like I said, some homeowners may not like this as time continues and communities begin to change, causing some of them to actually move further north to get some breathing room between their neighbors and all of that congestion. For these people, they will love this next bill, because this next bill is the biggest and most impactful bill that helps a lot of current homeowners, and that is the ADU bill. The ADU bill was given the proper fitted name because it actually describes what it is allowing. The ADU stands for accessory dwelling units, which are very small, self-contained residential units on the same lot as an existing family home. What this bill does that the other one does not is the fact that it allows for you to add an ADU currently on your residence, because maybe you don't want to build a duplex or a sixplex or a courtyard apartment. You just want to have a little separate space for that family member to return for a short period of time or a longer period of time. But either way, the ADU will allow you just to build onto your own structure or as a separate dwelling unit, as a detached structure. And so unlike the middle housing bill, where you could have your whole home wiped, or if you had space, you could put larger units on there, but usually people will do that when they want to rent them out. You know, they want to get several types of incomes in. But for you that are just wanting to add an additional dwelling unit to your home, a separate space for people to enjoy when they come to visit, or maybe to have a caregiver to stay in the lower unit or upper unit, whatever the purpose may be, this ADU bill will absolutely do that. And that's why it is going to be the most impactful, because there are a lot of people where you're having merging families, whether it's kids returning back with their kids and they need to have their own space, or whether it's a parents or grandparents that are coming in and they need to have their own space, or whether it's caregivers coming in and they need to have their own space. This bill will actually be a huge benefit for many people, whether you're on a small lot or whether you're on acreage, because no matter what, acreage or small lot, there were heavy restrictions that didn't allow you to have an ADU on there unless it had very limited red little hoop circles that you had to jump through in order to be able to have it, like a Homestead Act or things like that where you had to file for it. Let's talk a little bit more about what is required in an ADU in order to have it. And you might be saying, this isn't really pertinent to me. Well, if you want to actually learn to maximize your income to be able to have your residents be able to make money for you, these are things that is going to drive a higher value to your property if you were to resell down the road. While right now, it's just going to be a modern convenience for your family. So it's absolutely important that you kind of understand how this law can benefit you. Even when you're going to look at a single family residence, some things you need to know about this ADU bill, it will actually benefit you even if you didn't add on to the property as far as an outdwelling detached unit, or as far as adding square feet to create another ADU unit. You can actually do it within the very compounds of your home. So let's talk a little bit more about what that looks like. Okay, let's talk about what commonly will be put into an ADU. An ADU, first of all, will have all of the basic facilities needed for day-to-day living, such as a kitchen, a sleeping area, and a bathroom. Sometimes it may feel like a studio apartment, if you're familiar with that, but no matter what, it can be either attached or detached from that single family dwelling. Either way, you might actually know them as a backyard cottage, a mother-in-law unit, or sometimes called casitas. But either way, no matter what, this bill cuts the red tape and removes a lot of the construction barriers so that no matter what little fancy name you put on it, you'll be able to actually have one built on your home. Now, this ADU law did, of course, put in some conditions in order to build an ADU, and here are just some of them. They're not all of them, but here are the main ones. First off, whether it's attached or detached, ADUs are allowed on any size lot that allows, of course, a detached house. The minimum ADU size, though, can be no less than 1,000 square feet, and the maximum height limit of no less than 24 feet, or of course, max height for houses if they're less than 24 feet. Also, there's no design standards or restrictions that are going to be more stringent than, of course, what applies to the house that's already on the property itself. The most important thing to know, though, is even though this plan has passed, you will still have to wait until the comprehensive plan is adopted for your area. Also, I do want to advise you not to wait for the comprehensive plan to be released in your area before starting work on any required land use regulatory revisions that you may need to do. And so because of course the comprehensive plan can take 9 to 12 months before it's adopted and released into your area. And that includes both for the middle housing or the ADU regulations. So if you're looking at taking advantage of either one of these, then it's best to start now. Now, not everyone is going to love this, but this is definitely something that is going to be a benefit for many people. And most importantly, there was only brief snippets in this video of just a summary of what these two bills entail. However, if you want all of the details, I did put all of those into my description below, many different links where I got the resources. And so there's fun bedtime reading for you. So be sure to take those links, read, and learn everything that you need. And I really hope that this video helped you. Again, I'm Shastine. I'm your local real estate agent. I would love to actually meet you one day. I thank you so much for watching my channel. Be sure to click and subscribe for future videos that I do post each and every week. I kind of mix it up so you never know what you're going to get. But certainly stay tuned. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great home buying and selling day.